Alrighty, hello everybody, here we are, and let's simply get started with this. We had some of the bugs yesterday we were facing, so the main goal is gonna be fixing them, and if we get time at the end, we will be working on some more functionalities and all. I hope you are doing great, and without any further delay, whoa, network issue, uh, I just hope that this network issue will not be problematic thing, but let's see how it's gonna be going on. Coming back to this one, live, and gonna be pretty interesting. Here we are. Save it. And alrighty, hopefully everything's done and I'm audible. Am I or not? Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I'm audible. Okay, so without any further delay, let's simply get started. Enter the password over here. Let me even do one thing. Let me spin up this barrier here so that I can actually connect it to my laptop. And okay, let's do it later when this is actually working. In that case, let's continue from here on. I was using the local database. I mean, this was the main problem earlier, so I just switched them. And then there were some more issues, if I'm not wrong. If I go to this one, meeting history, better auth and all. So let's see how many issues are there. ls turbo dev. Let's simply run it, and we'll see whether it actually works the right way or not, as expected. As for the IP address, this is the one. 80.59. Alrighty, start it. Started as well. It has started, yeah, that's right. Okay, so everything's done. It has even started, so let me check the result of this, how it goes and all. And as per our logic in the backend, what we are doing, we are connecting to the database whenever the connection gets established. So ultimately inside apps WebSocket server and source server.ts. Here what we are doing, whenever the connection gets established, by the way we don't really need this anyway, so whenever the connection gets established, at that time we are just simply getting the token. Once we got the token, we are checking whether the token exists or not. Pretty simple stuff. Or let it be like this, and then we are creating the headers. Once the headers are created using that particular header, we are checking the session, and then once the session is sure that okay, the session does exist, then I'm forwarding the request ahead. And in case if we are getting the message, so this particular thing will be triggered, and I think this anyway runs. It runs for the first time, so whenever we are getting the message that okay, that's fine. What is the problem here? Yeah, we were facing the same kind of issue yesterday as well, and it is related to what this is what we were supposed to be fixing. So cache force this source server.ts timeout duration connect refused to 27017. Well, this is not running actually. So docker, how do we start the docker engine directly from the how to start docker desktop from command line. Docker desktop start, this one, that's it. Desktop start. Oh wow, starting docker desktop. Hopefully it's gonna be spinned up. Yeah, that's right. So this way you can just simply start the docker stop. And how about docker desktop stop, stopping docker desktop. Amazing. Such a good thing I learned today. This is literally amazing. Docker desktop start and docker desktop stop. Just a minute. Let me search docker somewhere. This is where I have the code related to docker, right? So what am I gonna be doing? probably here at the end. That doesn't really matter. Few more commands: docker desktop start and docker desktop stop start and stop docker desktop. This is actually gonna go inside that. As for the color for this one, this is actually gonna be this one. Alrighty, we have done this. We have the commands written. That's what I wanted. Coming back to this one, docker desktop start. Should be starting it. Get. And once it has started, so right now if I try to run turbo dev, so let's see what kind of errors we are gonna be facing now. Definitely there were some errors, so we have to fix them. But the question is, what are they? Reload it. And compiling this stuff, that's great. Let's wait for a while. Sort of seems to be working. Yesterday there was a problem, like it was unable to log in properly, right? Sign up. Sign was not working. So let me click on this. Sign up page. What is the problem? Oh, error connection. But MongoDB at this, I think locally it just simply throws this error. Let me know about this error. I'm gonna be dumping it to the ChatGPT, and hopefully it will be able to give me the reason behind this, exactly why I'm getting this. Here we are. Alrighty. Google Media bun. It is mainly because of bun, right? So your error is very clear and common. Connect this means your app is trying to connect to MongoDB on localhost this, but no MongoDB server is there. Why this MongoDB connection flow? Your code tries to this. OS checks if anything listening on port this. Nothing found. Connection refused. 6. I'm not sure. This is definitely running. Just starting is not enough. Am I crazy? I thought I spinned up the Docker, so now it's working. So not really. I will have to start MongoDB separately. So Docker process status. Docker PS all. I have PostgreSDB over here. Similarly, I should have MongoDB as well. So Docker start MongoDB. Now it has started. So Docker process status. Turbo dev. Literally crazy. Alrighty, this time the database is definitely running, and even I can check it here. So local database, right? Let's simply connect it to that, and I have these things here. So it is connected. Coming back to this one, reload the page. Compiling sign up. That's great. That's what I wanted. The problem that I faced yesterday, that was signing up wasn't getting done the right way. Sign up was failing. That's what we have to fix today. And before even that, here we are. It's quite a big one. So of course I have to send a request from here, and let's see whether it succeeds or not. So submit, and what will happen? It failed. The question is why it failed. Post request. This is just simply saying that internal server error. Await in better. Oh, fetch on submit sign up. Show ignore. The request goes from HTTP localhost 3000 to API or sign up email. Yeah. But it is failing. Coming back to this one, Mongo server here, transaction numbers are only allowed on replica set number 0. Illegal operation. We are doing something illegal over here. Gonna be copying everything, and let's know about this here, exactly what this is all about. What is this illegal operation is? Nangdo is running, but this is a different next level issue. Transaction numbers are only allowed on replica set numbers on Mongo. What this means, very important. Your auth library, better auth, is trying to use Mongo transactions, but transactions only work on replica sets, not on normal standalone MongoDB. So why you are getting this right now? Your MongoDB is probably running like this standalone Mongo, but transactions need replica set. Okay, this solution 3, best for local dev, convert replica set. So sudo systemctl start MongoDB with replica set. So wow. So MongoD this, open Mongo sh, initiate this and of docker clean and recommended docker run this this name. I'm gonna be starting with a replica set. Okay, and execute inside that Mongo sh. First of all, I have to start it with a replica set. Once it has started with replica set, then I need to execute inside that and rs.initialize. Let's try this thing out. We already have a docker running, by the way. What? MongoDB database running inside the docker. So docker process status, we are gonna be running one more, and let me stop the previous one. In that case, docker kill, and I'm gonna be stopping this. Do I really need to do this? I already have one running. In that case, execute inside that Mongo sh and initializing it, right? So how about, before even initializing, MongoD replica set 0 port number this db, probably I will be able to run this. Let me directly go to inside the particular docker that is running, docker execute, not docker container, of course. Inside this particular container I have to go MongoD. Oh, it does exist. Let me clear the terminal first of all. Sudo systemctl stop MongoD. I have to stop it inside the container. Of course, I am. Sudo not find. It's okay. Systemctl stop MongoD. Systemctl not found. So okay, I should be able to just simply set it directly, sort of. And once it is set, Mongo sh and rs initialize. Okay, Mongo sh rs initialize. Mongo server no replica enabled. This node was not started in replica. Okay, the question is, this is fine, you can enable the replica like this. So let me even have it here. How to enable replica in MongoDB container, just like this, and whatever steps I have here, all of them are going to be mentioned. Coming back to this, it should be here only. This is the first one, first command that you need to run, and once it has run, so you will be enabling replica as well. And few more things. What are they? You have to execute inside that, and then you have to initialize that using Mongo sh. That's fine, I mean that does its job. rs.initialize, this can only be initialized When you have replica set. Well, we don't have, then that's gonna be not replica set, just the replica. So how to enable, how to add this and initialize inside our running MongoDB container. Alright, you are already have a running MongoDB container. That's right. Docker's process status. Go inside that. I have already executed a Mongo sh. Once I'm inside that, try initializing possible outcome. It works. Not running replica set. This means there is no replica set. So Docker stop Mongo, remove Mongo. Literally, never mind. Let's do it. I actually have to stop it, then remove it. And once it is actually removed, then I have to start it again and follow the same process. Replica set dot status. This is also one of the commands. And change it to replica set RSA0. Some libraries require this explicitly, so we can even do that. Quite interesting. A few more things. First of all, we can have a command for checking the status as well. And apart from checking the status, we have to change this to this if required. So this is also done. This is blah 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 blah. Okay, that's it, done. So ultimately, coming back to this one, let's exit. Docker process status, I will actually have to stop. So Docker stop this. Once it has been stopped, then I'm gonna be running it again. So what was the command for running it? This is the command for running it. 27017 name is gonna be Mongo. That's fine. Or if I name it MongoDB, that's gonna be problematic for sure. But let's see whether it gets problematic or not. That's already done, right? Yeah. So in that case, Docker process status that has actually been stopped with Docker remove, and this well, Docker remove. I actually have to remove both of them. Actually MongoDB was running here, so this is the same one. So once it has been removed, it was using some kind of volume as well. So Docker volume ls MongoDB volume, this was being used here. So Docker run, port is gonna be 27017, 27017. Volume is gonna be what? Volume is gonna be MongoDB volume will be mounted to data/db, and the name is gonna be MongoDB. Image is gonna be Mongo. What is the next thing? The last thing that I have to add a REPL set. RP REPL set, and that's gonna be RS0. So ultimately we have gone through this much. Let's see. Yeah, we haven't started it in the Docker process status. Is this not running yet? For all Docker remove MongoDB. I'm gonna be running it again, but in the detached mode. So it needs to run again, but in the detached mode. Docker process status. This is running right now. So MongoDB is running right now. Overall things are right. Once the things are right, let me just simply run turbo dev and see what happens. No, it will not work. Docker process status, Docker execute inside MongoDB sh ls. I have to run a few more commands like rs.initialize. There is a syntax here. Initiate. Okay, fine. rs dot initi mongo sh. Now rs dot initiate. Well, okay, it's been initialized, initiated. rs dot status. Now I'm getting the status as well. Let's simply clear this. Well, it does not exist. It does not exist either. So in that case, there's no way to clear it, or what? Control L, it will be cleared. And let's simply exit this. Right now it is running. If I run turbo dev, and let's see what's gonna be happening now. Okay. Reload the page. It is ready, but even not getting okay, got the same error again. I think this time I have to provide the replica as well. Let me see. One thing that I'm missing, that is I'm not mentioning the replica name over there. Probably I need to do that. Let's see what this error says. Now you fix the replica set part now, but you hit the next real world issue, that is get address replica. This what actually happening. MongoDB replica is initialized with container host name this, but your app is running on host machine, cannot resolve the host name. Root cause initialize host, Mongo automatically use the host. This works inside Docker network only, not from your local machine, where we must configure. What is the host? Interesting, learning about a few new things. That's great. Docker execute, interesting. MongoDB sh mongo rs dot configuration. What is the host over here? The host is this. Okay, by the way, we have to update config to this. So cfg members 0 host reconfig force true. That's interesting. This needs to be true, by the way. This is right. Got it. Let me even save it. This all the way they're understandable exactly what it is doing, what this command is actually doing, and that's fine. That should be like this only. So I'm gonna be just simply running this, and let's see whether it works or not. So this particular got done, and ultimately this is a command that actually ran. It is just simply saying okay. So rs dot status is gonna be returning me what? Is gonna be returning me this. What about the host? So rs dot configuration coming back to this one. The host is this right now. That should be working fine. Let's see whether it works fine right or not. Ls exit it. Turbo dev. The good thing is that we are actually able to understand what the command is doing. Here we are. Let me send the request. If you are using MongoDB directly from the online, like you are getting it from Atlas and all, so it is gonna be working by default, and locally you will have to just configure a few things. Congratulations, it got done. Oh wow, here we are. It is started working. Okay, because many we were using local. Click on new meeting. Enter the name of the meeting. That's gonna be my meeting. Here we are. As for the camera, let me spin up Iron webcam as well, and let me turn on the camera. Well, that's not getting turned on. Let me reload the page. That can be anything. This is the name of the meeting. It should be turned on, but it is not getting. Let me reset the permission, reload the page. Okay. I in webcam. Let's simply click on allow. Once it is allowed, I'm getting it like this. Alrighty, what is the next thing that I have to do? Whatever we have to work on, we have already worked on, and it is working the right way. What was the next thing? Let's come back to the main point, main topic. That was add meeting history. We worked on this quite a lot. In the sense we actually tried to add the meeting history. So what we actually did inside Weber app meeting ID components video. Well, not here actually. This is where we have action.ts, and this action.ts is mainly responsible for save meeting history, gets the meeting collection, saves the meeting history, and gives me the response. Great. So let me check that whether it's actually happening or not. So for checking this, what do I need to do? It should happen automatically, shouldn't it? Yeah. Page.tsx. Am I running that? I'm not running that. So if I run this, what will happen? Okay, I need the user ID as well. User ID needs to be here anyhow. By the way, this needs to be imported as well. So let me import this. Coming back to this one. This is the type. So I need to have user ID and all these things. So this user ID is gonna be user ID, but a real user ID, and I don't have that yet. For getting the user ID, I already have this. Let me see. User ID is gonna be equals to data session dot user ID. Will I be getting it like this? Ultimately, what is happening? User session. This use session actually comes from Betterauth. This user session hook provides session, and inside that I get the user information. So user ID, I'm getting it here. Well, this is bad actually. It should be user.user ID or user.id, just like this. But ID does not exist. So probably a Betterauth converts it to the ID. So let me check with what kind of ID I'm getting here. CLG. Arey bhai. Alrighty, so this much I've done. Let's see. Done. Come back here. Whenever the meeting gets created, log the console. Reload. Enter the name. The meeting ID, I'm getting it. So that's done. And as that is done, I'm gonna be getting this inserted thing, like it got inserted. So ultimately meeting information got inserted in the database. That simply means refresh this here, Google Meet meetings. So this is the meeting that is running right now. So ID is this, user ID is this is the user who actually created this. Not created actually, this is the user who is in the meeting. So ultimately you are the one, and meeting title is live true right now. Start time is this, end time is null. Okay, how about when I end the meeting? I have to do the same thing again. So whenever I'm ending the meeting, so when is the meeting ended up? Ending the meeting, in the sense, there are two things. First of all, you will be leaving the meeting, that is not ending the meeting. And second, actually the meeting ends. Just a minute. How can I simplify this? Whenever you leave the meeting, that is ended for you. At least that's the duration, right? Yeah. So if you leave the meeting, consider it to be ended. So ultimately what I'm gonna be, for you at least, and then you can rejoin the meeting, that's another case. So what is the error I have here? meeting payload. What it is saying, user ID string or undefined. So undefined is not assignable to strings, so this can be undefined. If I don't have user ID, that can just simply return from here, because if somebody is starting, I need to have the user ID anyway. So I will not be getting this error right now. The another thing is that when I'm leaving the meeting, so when leaving the meeting, I'm removing the chats and files. At that time, I have to save this info. So I'm gonna be naming it actions.ts because there are gonna be more than one actions. So end the meeting, when I'm actually ending the meeting, so I'm gonna be creating one more action over here, and that will be export const save meeting history. It's gonna be sort of like this. Async. The question is, what will I be passing from here? The meeting info is already saved. Now I have to just simply find that meeting and change that. So that simply means I need to have the meeting ID over here. Yeah, I need to have the meeting ID. The question is, do I have the meeting ID here? I have the meeting name and all, but I don't have the meeting ID. And that's right. Okay, in that case, what will I be doing? Somehow inside this meeting store, I have to send the meeting ID as well. So meeting.ts. The other things that I have, a meeting ID. Oh, this is the different one, yaar. This meeting ID is a different one, and the one that's been saved in the database, that is a different one. So it's better to use the same everywhere. That's also right. So in that way, I will have the meeting ID. That's right. Amazing job. What will I be doing here? Let's see whether this is amazing job or not. Pains.tsx. Here I have got I've got the user ID, so I'm gonna be making that. Sorry. I have got the user ID, right? The same user ID. User ID and meeting ID, both of them are gonna be different ones, right? Right. So once I have this user ID, so set current participant ID is gonna be, oh, this is where I needed to change. I changed something else, and I needed to change something else. ID is gonna be user ID over here, the user's ID, because I'm setting the current participant. Meeting ID, whatever user's ID is, that's gonna be the user ID. Shouldn't it be? Yeah, it should be. And then as far as this is concerned, let me cut it from here, and let me get rid of this. Meeting ID doesn't require, that is not required. Ultimately ID, I will be checking one thing, like if I don't have user ID over here, so let me cut this thing from here. So this is how it's going to be going on. So once I got my user ID, the same user ID will be the ID of the current participant. This is done. And once I have set the value of the current participant, I already have the meeting ID over here. Coming back to this one, meeting payload. When it comes to this meeting payload, so it needs the user ID. User ID in the sense, which users meeting is this, or history is this. So that's great. So I'm passing this user, meeting title is live and all. That simply means when ending, what is the problem here? The problem is that WebSocket connection, I have to pass the ID of the user. ID of the user. That's actually gonna be user ID here. User ID over here. That's fine. And once I have passed the user ID, so whenever I'm ending the meeting, I can get the user ID. With using the user ID, I can find the meeting and make the changes, right? So end meeting actions.ts. Here I have to pass the user ID somehow. That's gonna be nothing but a string. Let's talk about the logic wise what's gonna happen. Save meeting, save meeting history. This is gonna be again save end meeting history would be a better thing here, and I'm gonna be using a try catch block. By the way, the same way I was using it there, but this action.ts that I created, the response I got this, so I'm gonna be just simply saying CLG successfully saved, not gonna be returning anything, not required, saved meeting start meeting info, failed to save start meeting info. Apart from this particular thing, I need to come to the sections. CLG don't really need to return anything. Failed to save end meeting info, and in case if it succeeds, so CLG successfully saved end meeting info. By the way, the important thing comes here. Most of the things are gonna be repeated. I need my collection over here. So which connection, by the way? Meeting collection. So const meetings await get, what is the name of the kind? Chats meetings connection, I think. Meetings collection. This is the one. So this is the collection that I have got. What am I doing inside this particular connection? Connecting to the database, returning the collection meeting, creating the collection meeting, and just simply returning it from here. Great. By the way, if that is already there, in case DB collection meetings, that's okay, fine. If it does not exist, it will be created. If it is already exist, then it will not be created. So once I got my meetings, then what is the next thing that I have to do? I got my meetings. Now I have to find the meeting info. So meeting info, that's gonna be equals to problem. What is the problem? Inside the meeting, what all I'm storing? Inside this meeting, I have the user ID. Okay, I have the meeting title and all these things, but what about the meeting ID? Without the meeting ID, I will not be able to find the exact meeting. That's right. So whenever I'm saving the history here, so ID is there, meeting ID is here. This meeting ID is not right. The real meeting ID that gets saved in the database. Either I override this, but this is not gonna be the right thing. I'm using MongoDB, it automatically creates the IDs, right? But the thing is that this meeting ID that I have here and the meeting ID that I get when I save it, they're different. So I can do one thing. Yeah, I'm gonna be saving this meeting ID as well. So there's gonna be ID from the MongoDB side. There's this meeting ID that I'm gonna be saving from my own side, so that using this meeting ID I can easily find that, so that I don't have to just simply pass the response. Okay, so here user ID is here, meeting title is here, meeting ID I'm also saving. Though this is an extra thing that I'm doing, because MongoDB automatically generates the ID for you. But for that thing you will have to then over here what will be happening, the response that you actually get, you will have to send the meeting ID again. Yeah, so in this way you will have two meetings ID. One will be generated by this MongoDB, in another one you already have it here. So it's like once you are actually saving the meeting information, then send back the information, send back the ID from here, save the ID on the data, like on the state, and this is how it's gonna be happening. And here we already have a meeting ID, that's the one I'm gonna be saving. So it's okay, we are gonna be having two IDs. What else? Nothing like it doesn't matter. Using this ID I can definitely find this. This is gonna be unique for sure. But definitely it can be also possible that whenever you are saving the meeting information, at that time you are getting the ID, use that ID. But as I'm using that ID, so the ID for saving or getting and the ID of the meeting, they are gonna be different one, because the meeting ID I created, the meeting ID of the document that got saved, that was created by the MongoDB. So it's gonna be like two IDs I will have. So I'm gonna be going with the easier way, simply using the same ID. Even in the MongoDB, we'll be finding it using this, and this is the most the straightforward way for now. That is also a way it can be done, and probably we will be focusing on that later. Coming back to this end meeting actions.ts, I'm gonna be getting the user ID. I'm also gonna be getting the meeting ID here. Meeting ID, that's gonna be again nothing but string. So once I got this, so I'm gonna be meeting info, that's gonna be await meetings dot find one. I'm gonna be, or unique is there, find one and update. Oh, find one and update, that's a good one. We have to find one and update. The question is that how will I be finding? I will be finding based on user ID. User ID should be equals to user ID, and meeting ID should be equals to meeting ID. So this way I will find that. The question is how will I be updating? For updating, I will have to use $set operator over here, and now it's time to change the values. The question is what I want to change. I want to change the end meeting time. That simply means end time, that's gonna be equals to date, new date. I mean, that's what I saved it there, right? Didn't I? Hello everybody, I hope I'm connected right now. Let's see, is this the same or not? Probably this is not the same. Just a minute. Where am I live right now? This is where I'm live. I think that's the same one going on. Literally just got a call in between, so I had to just simply leave. Hopefully this is the one. Yeah, just a minute, let me fix one thing, then continue. I'll continue from here. That is this extra live that I started by mistake. Let me delete it forever. Alrighty, coming back to this one, let's simply get started without any further delay. So we were here, come on. So what we were doing, we were saving the time, right? Yeah. So when we are saving the meeting history, start meeting history or saving the meeting history, at that time I'm using a payload, and that payload contains what? Contains.tsx. That payload contains new.date, and that's the same one we are using over here. That's great. So we have this, and got it. Apart from this particular thing, the same thing I'm saving it for the ending meeting as well. So whenever the meeting ends, remove chats, forget about this. Whenever the meeting ends, I'm saving it like this, and once it is saved, then that's it. Nothing else really. The job is already done, and once the job is done, then let's see whether it works or not. So copy, and I'm gonna be using it inside this. Whenever the meeting ends, at that time I'm gonna be removing all the chats and all, and then I'm gonna be saving the history as well, just like this. Of course I need to import this, wait this as well, and I need to pass a few things over here. The first one is the user ID, second one is the meeting ID, right? So in that case, meeting ID and user ID. Oh, there is a problem. What that problem is? The problem is that there could be possibility that the user is gonna be joining the same meeting again, and if the user actually joins the same meeting again, then the meeting ID will be the same, user ID will be same. So there are gonna be two values, and when I'm saving, there are gonna be two values. That simply means when I'm getting the result, there are gonna be two values, so I will have to render them. That's also okay. I will be finding many and I will render them many. So whenever I'm going to get the ID, like meetings, there can be multiple meetings containing the same ID, containing the same user ID. That's okay, that will work. Not really big problem in that case. So await save meeting info. I need two things here. I need the user ID, I need the So let me have this thing over here. The question is how am I gonna be getting the user ID? User ID, that simply means it comes from the current participant. So I can say const user ID, that's gonna be equals to current participant. Well, from the current participant, ultimately I'm gonna be getting everything. So let me do one thing. User probably ID, yeah, ID, and meeting ID. Just like this, I'm gonna be having these, but this ID will be named as user ID, just like this. But I can even name, yeah, that's fine. And once I have these two, I'm gonna be passing them here. So user ID and meeting ID. This is how it's gonna be passed, and hopefully it will be done the right way. Let's see whether it works the right way or not. So for that thing, of course, I will have to remove whatever meeting info that I have right now. So this is the one that I had. Let me delete this one document, and let me join the meeting again. So suppose I joined the meeting. The name is gonna be my meeting. Enter. Join successfully. Let me check. Reload it. Refresh the page over here. My meeting. This is the meeting ID. This was the ID I was talking about. Not this one. This was the ID that I was talking about. But yeah, MongoDB generates this ID on its own. And by the way, we are using this one for finding that. And live is true. Start time is this. End time is null. By the way, one more thing we need to change that I have forgotten here. Save in the meeting info is live. That's actually gonna be false. We don't really need to have this value is live. Like, yeah, why am I even having it? So once you left the meeting, so you left the meeting. What is the use of having is live and all? So in that case, action.ts, let me remove this type from here. Once this type is actually removed, let me go to page.tsx, and is live value, let me remove it from here, and let me just simply delete everything. Delete. Once it is deleted, let me reload the page one more time, and this will have the name new meeting. Enter. The meeting is created. Let me come here, let me refresh the page. So right now I have these things. So this end time is null right now. Let me end the meeting in the sense, click on this, end the meeting. The meeting is ended. As the meeting is ended, let me come back here, refresh it. I have the end time as well. Great, it works great. Let me try to join another meeting. That another meeting name is gonna be another meeting. I have joined the meeting. Let me see the info here. So this is the meeting I have joined, and the time is still null. If I reload them, then what will happen? Once I reloaded, then refresh it. The name is not set there. So that is something we have to still figure out, like why it's happening. If I refresh this, another one gets created, but the end time never gets saved over here. That's simply because I did not click on leave button, rather I simply refreshed the page. That is a problematic thing. So whenever I refresh the page, I have to make sure that this function gets called as well. So what I want over here, this works when I click on the end meeting button, but how about when I refresh the page? So when I refresh the page, the socket connection gets disconnected. At that time I have to look for the same user. So when the user gets disconnected, ultimately inside this is something that I have to take care of. Signaling.ts, yeah, signaling.ts, handle normal process, and handle rage, handle receive message, handle inform others about left participant. Not really, not this one. Disconnect event, there must be disconnect something. Handle disconnect, do I have that? Handle inform others, so only others are gonna be informed in that case here. On the backend side, what am I doing whenever the connection gets disconnected? WebSocket server, source server.ts, whenever the connection gets disconnected, close. So what am I doing when it gets closed, disconnect? So at that time I'm emitting an event from here, that is gonna be handle host left, inform others about the left participant. This is where I'm using this inform others about the left participant event, and handle host left, If the host leaves that, then I'm gonna be assigning the new host. That's okay, fine with this as well, no problem as such. Remove the left participant. The left participant is going to be removed, but I'm not informing the left participant that you have left the meeting. The question is, the left participant doesn't really, in this case the left participant needs to be informed. So whenever a participant leaves the meeting and whenever this socket gets disconnected, at that time an event should get triggered on the front end side, and when that event gets triggered, at that time I have to save the meeting info. Alrighty, remove the left participant. What all I have over here? I have left participant over here. Get the left participant. I already have the left participant. If not left participant, then do this. If I have the left participant, remove the left participant from the participants array. So meeting left participant slice is gonna be removed. End the meeting if there no exist, and handle host left if the host leaves. And one thing that I'm gonna be doing probably here, inform participant about leaving the meeting. By the way, why are we doing this? Mainly because we want to end the meeting gracefully. So okay, we have this. If I have the left participant, that simply means I have the ID. So const ws WebSocket is gonna be equals to current left participant dot ID. I should definitely have the ID over here. Yeah, I have. Once I have the ID, I can definitely get the connection as well. So cut WebSocket connections and this. So ultimately I got the WebSocket connection. Once I got the WebSocket connection, const message is gonna be equals to label, and that's gonna be equals to, what is gonna be the label of this? Labels dot normal process or WebRTC process. That's the normal process. Data is gonna, will have the type here. Type, what is gonna be the types for this? Types, I don't really have the type, so that simply means I have to create a type here. So let me go here. The new type that's gonna be inform left participant, inform left participant, just like this, and this is the type that I have. Simply save it here. Once this is done, I'm gonna be back here. Type is gonna be inform left participant. Payload, I need to inform that particular participant. Payload, okay, let's simply send the ID. So payload is gonna be nothing but the left participants. I'm just simply gonna be sending this. Alrighty, so this is what I'm sending from here, and ws.send and json.stringify. I'm gonna be sending message from here. So this particular message will be sent to the left participant. Well, ignore the noise around me because there's some work going on, so can't really do anything regarding that. It is actually too much, but okay, never mind, let's continue. Sorry for the noise. So what am I gonna be doing here? And that is going back to here inside signaling.ts. I should be getting a normal process, handle normal process, and this is where I'm gonna be creating one more case. And what is that case going to be? Case is gonna be types dot inform left participant and handle inform left participant, just like this. And this is the function that I'm gonna be creating. And once done, I'm gonna be breaking from here and handle inform left participant data dot payload I'm gonna be passing from here. Okay, this thing is done. I don't have that yet, so let me create it here. A new function, export function handle inform left participant. It will be getting the payload. As for the type of the payload, let's keep it any for now. I'm gonna be mentioning the type very soon. The question is what is gonna be the type of this payload? Left participant payload. So I'm just simply returning the participant information. So participant, this is gonna be the type. Participant in the sense the payload that I'm actually getting, that will contain these many things, and that's sort of right. Yeah. So once I have this, let me check exactly that's what I'm sending from the backend or not. Server.ts कहाँ गया भाई? Helpers, normal server process. Okay, not server.ts. From here, what am I sending? I'm sending the left participant. What is the type of the left participant over here? Sorry, left participant. The left participant has participant type, right? So as far as this is concerned, the left participant, I'm getting it from the meeting, so that's fine. Meeting will have the type meeting and participants undefined. That's okay, it is gonna be there. So over here on the front end side, I'm gonna be getting on the front end side inside process.handler. First of all, let me import this. Once it is imported, and over here I will be getting the information of the participant. So what will I be doing? If participant leaves the meeting like this, this will be triggered every time. Whenever the participant leaves the meeting, this is definitely gonna be triggered. It's better to do everything here. Everything in the sense, this is already a function, and I should be able to make a call to the database. From the functions we can make calls to the database, can't we? Okay, can we do that, or should we create an action? It's better to create an action here, that would be better. So I'm gonna be creating another action, action.ts, and the same action will be used here. So instead of the action that I had inside end meeting, so instead of saving the information there, this particular thing, so I'm gonna be cutting it from here, and I'm gonna be using it inside this helper. Okay, many things are missing. First of all, this needs to be imported, and this is a server action. First of all, the same thing is I can say use server action that I have created. Apart from this particular thing, few things I need to pass over here, the job will be done, that's it. But the question is, okay, you are using it over here, that simply means you have the user ID and you have the meeting ID. That's right, I have them. So inside normal server process, I'm gonna just simply say that I wanna use save and meeting history. When I'm using this, so I need to have a few values here. I'm gonna be getting user ID, and I'm gonna be getting probably what all I'm gonna be getting from the payload. Once I have this payload, so from this I'm gonna be getting the ID, I'm gonna be getting the meeting ID. ID is gonna be okay, that's fine, and this is gonna be actually the user ID over here. Ignore the sound or voice, whatever that is coming right now. Can't really do anything regarding that. This and the meeting ID. Ultimately, I'm getting the information whenever the participant leaves directly or indirectly. This will be triggered, and the meeting info will be saved. As simple as that. And ultimately, this is gonna be running, and that's sort of done. What is the last thing that I have to do? The last thing is that fix this. Ultimately, I'm not gonna be saving it here, so let me remove this, and hence this also needs to be removed. And remove chat files. What is the problem here? This needs to be imported. Alrighty, all the errors have gone. Let me see whether it works or not. So ls dev, coming back to this, delete all the 3 documents, refresh the page. I don't have any data. Let me reload this, compiling. Let's see what's gonna happen. First of all, meeting should get meeting should be getting created, and then whenever I'm ending the meeting, either I'm refreshing the page or I'm clicking on the end meeting, the info should be saved. Meeting info, new meeting. This is done. It should be definitely getting saved here. So I've got the meeting. The question is that if I leave the meeting, what will happen? Done. Did not work. Connection definitely got disconnected. Okay. This event is not getting triggered. First of all, these things are not needed over here, so let me get rid of them. What is the problem here? That whenever I'm leaving the meeting, at that time this event should get triggered. Normal this, so I'm gonna be logging this CLG event is gonna be, I hope I'm doing the same thing here at the top as well, like logging the stuff here. So event is gonna be inform left participant, just like this. So this is the event. Let me see whether this actually gets logged or not. First of all, this. So suppose I joined the meeting. The name can actually be anything, doesn't really matter. And I just loaded the page. I gotta check this thing here inside web saved start meeting info. Did I ever leave the meeting? Whenever I leave the meeting, this should be triggered. But the thing is that as soon as I'm leaving the meeting, I am redirecting the user as well. So let me stop redirecting the user. Okay. Even inside this, I have few successfully saved the end meeting info. WebSocket closed, chat refresh successfully. So ultimately WebSocket is closing. The question is when the WebSocket closes. Signaling.ts. This event gets triggered. And this is from the front end side. I can go with this here as well. Like whenever the WebSocket is gonna be closing, at that time this particular event will be triggered. So why am I, oh shit, because if the WebSocket is actually closed, then you will not be informed, bro. Your WebSocket connection is already closed. Forget about getting the event over here. Sorry, my bad. This event will never be triggered. Why? Because the WebSocket connection is already closed. So forget about getting the result from the socket. Sorry, really sorry. Coming back to this one, server.ts. The problem is that even if I'm sending this message from here, but the question is that, the thing is that participants WebSocket connection is already closed, so this message will not be sent. So this is the main problem over here. Alrighty, you must have heard the voice around me. I was just simply asking them to stop. Okay, let's go. So this thing is definitely not gonna work, but we have another option. That is, whenever the meeting is gonna end over here, so at that time this particular event gets triggered, right, on close. And whenever this particular event gets triggered, I have to call the action here. So let me have another action here then, or probably I'm gonna say that I will have top level action here. So inside app web, what am I supposed to be doing? I should have actions folder here if I'm not wrong, and inside action, I don't know whether this is the right way or not for creating that, but I'm gonna have actions folder, and once I have this actions folder over here, that's gonna be which action? This is gonna be meeting action.ts. This is the one that I will have. Use server. Hopefully, I mean there's high probability for being it right, and hopefully it's gonna be working. So lib, and what am I gonna be doing? Come on, quick. Whenever this gets triggered, at that time I have to call that particular action. So let me make it a sync as well so that I can await it. and once this is the sync, and where am I using that particular action? Inside inside div I have signaling.ts, and I was trying to use that action inside helpers, right, handlers, process handler, and this handle left participant will never be triggered, so let me remove it from here. And apart from this particular thing, let me remove this as well. Coming back to the helpers, this action.ts, let me cut it from here. This should not be here, so once it is not here, then where should it be? It should be inside this meeting actions. Let me paste it over here. Most of the things are already right, so let me get rid of this handle. What is the problem here? This is not here anymore. And so inside signaling.ts, whenever this ends, I'm gonna be calling what? I'm gonna be calling save end meeting history. And over here, even I'm supposed to be getting the states. Getting the state is not really a problem. I already have the current participant. That simply means current participant dot id and current participant dot meeting id. So this way I'm gonna be having both over here. I'm even gonna be awaiting it. So once it is awaited, save history. This is how it's just simply getting saved. Let's see, try it out right now. Give it everything. Coming back to this, not this. Hopefully everything's already started compiling all. So let me create a new meeting. The new meeting has definitely been created. So refresh. FDS, 2 times the new meeting got created. Why? Let me delete it. Probably the last one could not get deleted. Refresh the page. Meeting. Let me come here. Refresh the page. So this is the meeting that we have right now. Great. If I refresh the page, then what will happen? I will be asked to create another meeting. The previous meeting definitely got disconnected. So refresh it a little. Well, it's not done yet. Probably I need to create another meeting. Another meeting. Right now, if I check, another meeting got created. Nothing is happening as expected. Another meeting got created. If I end the meeting right now, WebSocket connection closed. And as the WebSocket connection closed, I'm getting this over here. Alright, so ultimately the previous WebSocket connection wasn't really closed, and that was the issue that I was getting it up. And when updating, it just simply updates the first one. Alrighty, I'll have to even check one more thing over here. Whenever you reload the page, what gets triggered? Whenever I reload the page, at that time definitely socket connection gets disconnected. So if I come back here inside the meeting again, WebSocket connection is established, and right now here we have this. If I reload the page, then the page is reloaded, and event disconnect. So disconnect event is definitely getting triggered. So this is definitely happening, but the question is, Control Z. Let me reload the page one more time. Let me first of all join the meeting. I have joined the meeting over here. Asked to connect. Reload the page and disconnect. So this disconnection is happening other participants are being informed. What I have to do on the front end side, what is happening? Okay, on the front end side, connected, then WebSocket connection established successfully. So as soon as I reload this, I don't get the logs here on the front end side. So probably I need to watch this reloading stuff. So whenever I reload this gets saved there. Okay, let's do it. How to listen for page reload on the web page. Check if the page gets reloaded, refreshed in JavaScript. Window.performance if Windows works fine on the browser. So performance.navigate.type, that's gonna be equals to performance.navigation.type.reload. Alrighty, that's it got reloaded. Is reload is gonna be equals to this. So if performance.getIncrease type navigation this dot type, if that's triple equals to reload, then that's great. Falls back to one, full version reload, backward fall back. So performance getIncrease navigation 0. Okay, that's fine. So ultimately in here, navigation dot type performing this page is reloaded, this page is not reloaded. I can do one more thing. Even if you reload the page, you still remain in the same meeting. It can be definitely be done, right? So in this way, only when you click on end, then only the meeting is going to be ended, otherwise meeting will not be ended. So I can work on this functionality too. The problem is that whenever you reload the page, at the time WebSocket connection gets disconnected. So as soon as I reloaded the page, WebSocket gets disconnected and then connection gets establishes again. So let me work on the logic a little bit now. And because of this noise, yeah, it's too crazy. But never mind. I'll be going live in the evening as well when there's no noise now. So what is actually happening right here? That I have WebSocket server. Alrighty, and similarly I have this front end. Whenever the user goes on the meeting page, so ultimately a WebSocket connection gets established from the server to the front end. And when this establishes, so on the WebSocket server side, I have two things. I have a meetings object and I have connections object. And once I have these, so I'm just simply saving it there. So meeting info is getting saved initially, and even connection is getting saved. Now whenever you reload the page, so what happens? Socket gets disconnected, and whenever the socket gets disconnected, at that time I remove it from the connection. Whenever the socket, so ultimately I remove the user, right? That simply means the meeting got ended. What I have to do, that even if I reloaded the page, first of all socket connection will definitely be disconnected. The next time when the, but I don't have to remove this connection from here, rather, so ultimately what I had the ID, I had the ID of the user in the WebSocket connection. This is what I had, right? So ID in the connection. So whenever the page got reloaded, I will still keep it here. And when the user, only when the page gets reloaded, but it will still be getting disconnected. That's right. And what I have to do now, whenever the user reloads the page, it will be connected again, and when the next time it gets connected, at that time it will be sending the information to the backend again, kind of ask to join or something. But before that, I will check whether it already exists in the connections or not. If it does, I will update the WebSocket connection, that is it. If it does not exist, yeah, this can be done. Whenever the user reloads the page, check if the user already exists in WebSocket server before adding as a new user. Alright, let's see. By the way, so on the WebSocket server, let's close everything. There's a lot of things are missing, I know, but let's focus on this thing first. Remaining things we'll be getting them one by one. So on the WebSocket server side, what am I doing? Source server.ts, server.ts. So close. Whenever the connection gets closed, this connection happens, and at that time, what am I doing? I'm actually removing the user. I'm considering that participant as the left one, and I don't have to do that. I'll have to change the whole logic. Okay, great, we'll do that. Whenever the disconnection happens, okay, so what am I doing? Meeting ID, return ID, get index of the participant. I hear this noise. Remove left participant, participant array, end meeting, handle host. But what if I reload the page? I'm not really leaving. So the whole logic that I have written here, that should be commented out. Just like this. I'll have just only one of them uncommented, this one. So ultimately, whenever the meeting ends, what will happen? Whenever I reload the page, reloading the page does not mean the meeting has ended. So at that time, I'm not gonna be ending the meeting. So how will I be ending the meeting? I can only end the meeting when I click on the end button. That simply means I will be listening for a message over here. That's gonna be normal handle process, and I'm gonna be creating one more case. In that case, will be case for ending the meeting. So I should have one more case over here for ending the meeting. As simple as that. That simply means whenever the user gets connected again, so WebSocket connection gets establishes again whenever the user gets connected. So what am I doing over here? I'm gonna be getting the connection ID and all. So I got the connection ID, I got the meeting ID, I got the token, right? Connection ID is what? Connection ID is the ID of the user, that's right. So once I have it, so I'm gonna be checking token, and where are these session. So well, what am I doing? Whenever the connection gets establishes, at that time I'm sending ask to connect event. Well, there is a problem here as well. Something is missing in the sense this thing was missing. Yeah, right now I will not gonna be facing the issue. Coming back to this one, handle normal server process, I'm gonna be sending ask to connect a message over here. So handle ask to connect, just a minute. Alrighty everybody, I'll be going live, but in this noise that I have around me, seriously this is not possible to just simply continue. So I'm just gonna be ending it right here. I'll be live when things, or let me just ask them to stop. How many times am I supposed to be asking them to be quiet? Never mind. It happens. Common thing. Okay. So what am I supposed to be doing right here? What I was planning to do, I was planning to just simply do one thing, that whenever the page is reloaded, I'm not gonna be ending the meeting or removing the user. So whenever the user asks to connect to join the meeting, again handle normal process, ask to connect. So when the user is actually asking to connect, so instead of creating, by the way, meeting will already exist, that's for sure. If the user is actually trying to connect, so I will check whether the meeting exists or not. If the meeting does not exist, I'm going to be creating it. That's not really big problem. So once I have the meeting, that this is where I have to just do the things. Once I have the meeting, so what am I gonna be doing? That user may still be part of the meeting already, right? So I have to check if the user is already the part of the meeting, so not remove that particular user. So if that is a user, so participants, I'm gonna be checking. What will I be checking? I'm gonna be checking that the participant info that I got over here, does that participant already belong to the meeting or not? Const is participant already, a crazy name. Is participant already, is already participant, is already participant, just like this. So is already participant, and I have to check whether the value that I got. How will I be checking this? Inside participants, I have all the participants, that is an array, and I already have the meeting. That simply means I can get the participants as well. So meeting dot participants, I got all the participants dot sum will be just get, I will get the participant over here. So participant dot id, if that's triple equals to the id that I have, what will it give me? It will what sum returns. Sum returns whether the specified callback returns true for any element of an array. So any element of the array, in the sense, if this value, even one single value gets true, that simply means if there's any participant that has the same id, so it will return true. And once I get the true, so if that is already the participant, what I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna be now that is already a participant. Okay, as that is already a participant, if that were not a participant, I would be, if that were a host, I would be informing this and all. But WebSocket connections and all, message and all, json.string if I send, but in this case that is already a participant. That simply means, think about it, I have to join that participant again, just on the what front end side, nothing else, because whenever the participant left, the states they got clear. So if already a participant, then what I have to do, if a new participant joins the meeting, I inform others, and here I have to do the same thing. I have to do what? I have to do two things: inform the participant and inform other participants. These are the two events that I have to trigger from here, because that is already a participant. That participant reloaded the page, so the whole state got clear. Now that participant is back, so it should be informed about others, and others should be informed about this participant, and this is how it should be going. Is that really so? Because when the participant reloaded the page, WebSocket connection disconnected, and WebRTC connection, how about that? If the page is reloaded, WebRTC connection is also disconnected. Let me see. Does WebRTC connection gets disconnected if I reload the page? Yes, WebRTC connection does get disconnected. Oh, bro, gone. So the connection got disconnected, so that's gone. In that case, if I reload the page, I will not be the part of the meeting anymore. That simply means the new connections need to be made again. Wow, interesting. That simply means whatever logic I had here, server.ts, it should still be here with some customization. What is that customization? That customization is I will be informing others about the left participant. That's right. And because ultimately that participant left the meeting, but it does not mean that participant is not the part of the meeting. So just a minute. Alright everybody, I'm just simply gonna be calling it right here. Probably I'm gonna be catching up in the evening when there is no noise around me. As for right now, let's simply end it. Okay, a few more things that we are gonna be doing in the evening. Let me even just simply plan them right here, and then once the things are actually planned, then we will be just simply executing them. Right now, there's no way to just simply continue. By the way, what should ideally happen over here? Whenever the connection disconnected gets disconnected, at that time left participant is definitely here. We have to inform others about the left participant, but we do not have to remove it from the connection side. So ultimately that's gonna be a to do here. When when connection gets disconnected, at that time inform others, and the next to do is gonna be don't remove the user from meeting in WebSocket server when the user gets connected again. Inform others, get the WebRTC connection is established, just like this, established. So these are the things that we have to do in the evening, and of course I'm gonna be back alive, that is for sure. And when everything is quiet around me, I'm gonna be working on these things. So ultimately in this case, what will happen, even if you reload the page, you will be disconnected from the meeting, others will be informed, but once you come back, your WebRTC connection is gonna be connected again. So it's like you left the meeting, then you came back. So it will not actually be the end of the meeting. Only when you click on the end button, you should be leaving the meeting, and this way most of the errors are gonna be resolved. So this is something that we are gonna be focusing on. Unfortunately right now it's not really possible. Someone or the other just simply keeps coming, so simply call it. We'll definitely be catching up. How long has it been? It's been 1:33. Let's end it and then I'll be back.